Salute over Tench.
Hi guys, we are on another cost cutter challenge. Now the last cost cutter challenge was actually November, believe it or not. I was fishing in November. It's now February. I've been quite busy. I have done some matches, I haven't filmed them, but they've not been cost cutters. I've just been doing weekends. So I'm back here at Acorn. You might be able to hear the rain pitter-pattering on the van. It's going to be raining all day. I don't really know how much footage I'll get that's useful, but we'll see what we do, how we go. 25 are booked on, maybe 25 will turn up, maybe 20 in this rain, who knows. That's pretty good turnout for down here in the southwest. It's really hard to find matches like that, so it's nice to come here and get some pegs. The venues up and down, there's certain areas where you can sort of be looking at catching 50 to sort of 80 pound a fish if you're on the right one. Then in other areas of the lake you can be looking at catching 30 or 40 pound, but obviously on this open there's no section, so really you've got to draw in the right area if you want to get in the overall frame. And as ever with Acorn, there's two sort of payouts. You've got the main payout for the overall weight, but also they do a payout for silvers. So if we find ourselves struggling, we can always, or if we find ourselves only being able to catch silvers, or in an area where we feel like we're out of it for carp, then maybe we'll focus on silvers. Let's just see where we draw. Wish me luck. Right, we've drawn. As you can hear, it's still raining. The tackle's not in the van because I've just moved it out in the peg. I'm not joking when I say I've drawn the actual worst peg on the lake. Who knows, something good might happen, but don't hold your breath, guys. Let's see how we get on. Right, an hour and a half in, we've got £6 on the clicker. That's two fish. Two, but I've had a few liners over. I'm having to fish at 16 metres. I'm just starting pinging some bait on my maggot line. Just can't get a bite of my maggot line. Oddly, the only two fish I've caught have been over a line that I've fed very sparingly with micros. Just about to top up now. And that's it. So like, you can see that. But that's like all that's going in. And I've caught over it with maggot on the hook. I have gone over there with an expander on. It's a long, long way to go. And if an expander comes off at 16 metres, plus I'm double shipping and it's quite a fast, so it does look like this peg's going to, if the wind continues at the end where it is, then the wind's not going to affect this peg as much as other pegs. The wind's sort of off my back. But that's the prevailing wind here at Acorn, and that's why the fish are never down this end of the lake, because the prevailing wind is straight down the other end. And that's where everybody fish, that's where the pleasure fishing fish, and that's just where everybody frames every week. So we're as far away from fish as we can possibly be. I'm tapping in a few. I'll wet the pot because then micros will stick to the pot. Make sure they've gone in. It's just a really small amount, a bit still. Soaks those. Soaked 2 mil. They've got aniseed flavour on them. I'm just going to have a little look over it, but I've put some bait down on it because I've foul up something on the left hand maggot line. And there's definitely fish there. Whether they're shallow or not. I have gone over it with a shallower rig, sort of dobbed over it to see whether or not there's dobbable fish there. But without bread, I've not got a lot of confidence in that single red maggots or pinkies and stuff. Whilst the wind stays calm, it's quite easy to accurately flip maggots out there. I'm hoping it stays like that. I'm fishing at 16, so if I get any sort of wind at all, it's just going to totally wreck my day. Right guys, 2 hours in, I've just landed a skimmer on the maggot line, the first fish I've hooked on it. And then I've gone back out. But whatever this is, I'm pretty convinced it's in the mouth because the float stayed pretty much where it was when I hooked it. It's a good fish, it's pulling off, so I'm just falling back out again, don't want to lose him. I've got a small hook on here, I've got a size 20 Preston SFL on, which is I like to use here at Acorn because you can catch better stamp fish. If I was fishing for just silvers, I would go even lighter than that, but it's quite good if you can catch sort of decent carp. A seal like this is a good fish.
It swam really slowly the whole time I had it, and it's just stayed really deep. It was really heavy and ponderous, and it's got head shakes. He's definitely hooked in the mouth. Famous last words, I know, but so I think about 15 or 20 minutes ago, I just spoke to you and I said I'm going to put some maggots in on that line. I've put some, I potted some maggots in, whatever. And I've just been pinging some bait over it. Whether the pinging has brought these fish in or whether it's just see these fish. I mean, there's this fish and a skimmer, so we're not exactly setting the world on fire. Now you can notice I'm not stripping any elastic out at all. I'm just trying to let there be as much elastic as possible out because I don't want to rip these light hooks out. Fishing an 11 hollow, an 11 hybrid. And he wants to run, I'm just letting him run. No rush, no one's catching anything around here, so I might only catch a handful of fish on this peg today, so I might as well enjoy it. I haven't seen this one yet, but he's definitely... I'd be surprised if he's not hooked in the mouth. It's a lovely little dink of a bite. That textbook stuff, yeah, it's a little £5 or something in the mouth. Again, not stripped any elastic out, just letting the fish have as much elastic as it wants. I'm hoping that I can kind of catch him out in this ever so slightly clearer than normal water. Might be able to see him a foot down and just scoop him before he even realises he's in trouble. Nearly got caught out then, so you nearly got a bit impatient and pulled him then. It would have been the summer I pulled him then and forced his head round, but trying to avoid too much strain on that little hook. Not worried about like trashing any short lines because I've got no short lines close to me or anything. He's come up with a great bite. So he's not as big as I thought he was when I hooked him, but I thought he was like a double where he was fighting. There he is, definitely properly had it. Maggot in a pinky. I'll give myself 4 for him. I might go 5 to be fair. That puts me on 10. Now the last 2 fish I've just switched to maggot and a pinky now. Like I say, I've also started pinging and I've also put some bait in, so who knows which of these factors has started getting me bites. Right guys, last time I spoke to you I was playing a carp. It was about 15 minutes ago, I ain't checked the time exactly, but 15 or 20 minutes ago that was. Didn't catch another one when I went over there. Pinged some more bait, messed about. Went onto the pellet line, couldn't get a bite, so I thought, I'll put some more maggot in the big pot. Literally just put some more maggot in the big pot, shipped back, gone out with a maggot and a pinky on the hook. It's just gone straight under again. Another carpy type fish. This don't feel quite so big, so I'm just I've stripped a little bit of elastic off this fish because he's not pulling quite as hard as the last one. Look like it's probably a little £2 or something. Might even be a tench. It's sort of jiggering around, it could be. It's a small carp or a tench this is. It's got a distinctive sort of diving down, up and down action. That doesn't seem to do, they come up and then they turn around, they seem to have to turn around and go back down, vertical, weird little things. That's interesting, so he's come straight to that feed this fish. What is a tench? Yeah, I thought it might be a tench. Oh yes, thank you very much, tench. Ooh, tenchy boy. Check that out for a tench. Well, I'll turn the cameras on now, guys. I can get a shot of him for you, what do you reckon? Beautiful. Pale Tench is, but he's nice. I don't know how he is. Getting on for £4, I thought, maybe 3.5. Interesting. Now decided it's going to rain again. Try and keep the camera. The cameras are waterproof. Today they're in waterproof mode, which means they're waterproof, but I haven't got as much battery life. I've not got any backup batteries. Normally I plug a backup battery into them, but that tends to have a negative effect on their waterproofiness. I'll give this 2 or 3 minutes and then if I don't get any indication of that again. And if it works again, I'll put a pot on. Probably a bit of a bigger pot than most people put on this time of year. I'm hoping that they're just going to come to a bit of food. Whatever's out there. A bit of maggot line. If it works, I'll probably turn that pellet line into a maggot line because I can feed them both aggressively. Put a load of bait on and just let it sit and I can switch between the two. So I've got somewhere to give this line a rest if, now I'm getting ahead of myself. See how these thoughts go through your head. First of all, you just got to go out there and see what happens because literally could be the only fish you catch for the next hour this time of year. You just get overexcited. I'm going to switch you off, not because I don't think I'm going to catch one, but I've got to save some battery, like I said. And I'll turn you back on if something happens. Right, guys. I didn't get another tench after that last one, so I topped up with some maggot. And after a while, I got another tench. I didn't film it because it was raining, but it's just stopped raining as I've just shipped out after landing that tench. And I've not fed again because I wanted to see what I could catch before I fed again. I want to make sure the feed's gone each time before I keep feeding, obviously, this time of year. And I've upped this. It seemed to fly out the swim before I even really lifted into the fish, so I'm hoping it's not a foul. It's not, I don't think it's a tench not fighting like the tench have been fighting. It's definitely a carp. It shot out the swim to the left quite aggressively. It could be foul locked. Could be just like thrown to the line, got pricked by the hook and then just bolted out the swim. Or it could be that as I've lifted into it, it's just bolted out the swim, or it realised it's got up weight in its mouth, pricked itself. Don't know. What I've done is I've swapped the pellet line over now to maggots, but I thought I'd put pinkies on it, so I've fed a big pot of pinkies on the right hand line. I've had a quick look and it not had anything on it yet. And I'm keeping this, the sort of moderate feeds of maggots going in onto this left hand line where I'm catching. Just see whether or not that pinky's better at holding a few fish, I don't know. Sometimes in this bit on here, that sometimes they'll have the pinky but they won't have the maggot. It's weird. I think it is foul up this fish. No, getting proper head shakes from it. It might be hooked in the front flipper or something like that. That's what it feels like. You never know with carp, they're such flipping lunatics. I could force him up, but like I've already said, being careful. I've stripped a bit of elastic on this one. I'm just letting him decide when he's ready to come up. This is definitely foul, look at this. He's got no control over it whatsoever. You just can't turn it now. Normally if you have this much force on the fish now, it will just turn. And the little strip is a bit risky, but you know, we'll go and do something to get him up. He's up near the front, so I think he's probably in that front flipper, so you can't quite control him. It might just be huge. I don't think he is. Just stand up because I just can't quite get the angle on him. He's in the net, no, he's not in the net. He's in the mouth. In the mouth, this fish. It's really... Oh, that's true. Okay, he's in the chops. Is he in, or is he just outside the mouth? Where is it? You scourge up. Suffering. He must have full for that. I think he was quite full, but I've underestimated the last two, so I should square me back up. Alright guys, we've got another 4 or 5 minutes and then didn't get a bite on it, so I went over the pinky line. Sat on that for the 4 or 5 minutes, didn't get a bite on that either, so I've gone back over the maggot line thinking I'll have one more look before I refeed it, make sure there's nothing there. And I've got this, which feels like a good carp. Good carp, he's definitely in the mouth. He's a big fish, I think. You know, definitely £5, could be 6, 7, 8. Really cruising around nice and slowly. Nice head bang, so he's definitely up in the chops. The last one was up to the chops when I said he weren't, so this one probably won't be. Hopefully the water's not trashing the lenses too much, or ruining the shot too much. I'm just turning the cameras on and off today, just because I'm a bit aware of how much battery life I've got. I'm trying not to grab too much elastic, but this is a proper fish. That's a tench. Good fish this is. I mean, I know we're in February and it's, you know, technically freezing cold, but it just isn't. You know, it hasn't been that cold down here. We've had a hard frost and that, but the water's not below 4 degrees for sure. And these fish are fighting. Like, I mean, I've got 11 on here. In the winter normally, you hook a fish on 11, even a £10 here, I've landed it by now, but they've definitely got some energy. They're definitely having a, and they've got plenty of energy and you know, they're happy to have a good scrap with you. I think what I'm going to do after this fish is I'm going to put a pot on the end of the pole and start potting baiting regularly, because I feel like the fish that are having a go. And then I can just put a bit in every time. I don't like doing it when I'm fishing long. It's a faff having a pot on the end, but needs must, innit? You can't, yeah. We've got them lined up a bit. Oh, that chat about it being a proper big carp, and it was a proper big tench. Oh my god, man, how big this tench is. It's an absolute joke. It's not fighting like the other tench. The size of that tench, that is brilliant. But that has got to be one of the biggest tench I've ever caught. I don't know if you can see this on the speckly cam. On that speckle, on that water speckled 36, I don't want to drop him and chuck him back in, but what do you reckon he weighs? What do you reckon he weighs, boy? Because it goes. Big old boy. First put with the sprinkle pot on. I've hooked another decent fish. This could be another good tench. Sprinkled a few in. Some ziggy zaggy looks like probably a little carp light zigging around. Could be a few tenches are smaller than I think. It's a good fish. What's it to be a tench? It is a tench. Another cracking tench, I've just seen it. They all fight so differently. Sounds fighting more like you'd expect a tench to either come up and they zig up and they zig back down again. It's like they come head first and somehow they manage to get the tail above their head and just duck and swim straight back down vertical. They're all weird fish when they fight. Like this. I've got 4 proper tench now. Like. Absolute big pair of a tench. Oh god. Lovely golden colour this one. Show you on the camera. Look at him, he's lovely and golden. This is too. He's ever so slightly smaller than the last one, but he's still pretty bad. I've got. I mean, I've got £14 on the clicker, but I've got more than that in service now. Sure I have. Just under an hour to go now. Just landed a foul up carp over the pinky line. Lost a skimmer off the pinky line that gone over the. It gone over the pinky got over the hook. So I lost him. Believe it or not, that's a small tension, isn't it? But that's just over the main maggot line, so what I'm doing now is switch to the pot, now that there's definitely some fish here. Potting over each line one at a time. Potting potting over the left line, then going to fish over the right line. Then potting over the right line, going to fish over the left line. So each time, just potting in, giving it a rest, letting the fish come in over the potted bait. And hopefully, there's a couple of fish down there feeding on the potted bait. And then I'll drop in with my hook bait over the top of those feeding fish. And one of them has it pretty quick. That one had it almost as soon as it landed. He's going to get some feed on his noggin. He's going out of his pot. Straight out over what I call the main line, where I've caught most of my fish from today. I've caught all my tench from there. But I've had a few silvers and some carp from the other line. Just in case it doesn't. Oh yeah, but it doesn't normally. The float's already in position. I'd let her think about it. That's set on there. Go straight onto this line. Oh, top. So just before I hook that tench, I'll just tap that pot full of bait in here. There we go, it's gone finally. Okay, I can't get the pole back because it's sticking. Not a skimmer. It's either a tench or a carp. Now we can repeat this process to the back out, feed this line, go back with the other line. See how the other line's getting on. What this one is? It's a carp, I'm going to say, but I might be getting right, so a bit jiggly, it could be a tench. Really got a glimpse of him then. Tench again, I think. Oh, that's a little carpy. Little carpy. And maybe a little bit more than that. I'll just click in a pound. It's not quite 2 pound.
Right guys, match over. As you saw, I had some nice tension there, and that's actually helped me out quite a lot. So down that corner there, even the regulars can't quite believe that I've managed to frame from peg 27. So I think I've weighed, I'll put the weights up here somewhere, but 53 pound I think I've weighed. There was 260 weights, and then I've just snuck past Bob on peg 12. He had another 50 weight, which is just a few ounces less than me. But I've also won the silvers. I've had 27 pound of silvers. So, oh no, so I've got 26 pound of silvers. I'll put that up in there as well. So I've picked up the silvers money because that was more than the third place. So that's 27 quid gone into the kitty. So at the start of today, we had 40 quid left in the kitty. We spent 15 on a match entry fee, and then we've won 27. So that's 12 quid up. So that puts me on 52 quid by my math. So we've got 52 quid in the kitty after 16 matches. We're flying high. I was absolute miracle today, really. I've drawn, just shows you sometimes you draw a flyer and you can't get a result off it. Like the very last round here, which was the last cost cutter, I've drawn peg 9 and I've blown it, and and now I've turned up here and I've drawn peg 27, and I have actually driven off site thinking I'm not going to fish today. I don't see the point in me fishing. It's such a bad peg. The weather's going to be horrible, blah blah blah. And then I've managed to talk myself around, come back in, get set up, and I've had a lovely day. The weather's been the best for me out of anybody because it's been like a mill pond. And it was really, really hard, and after 2 hours I could have probably just as easily given up because there weren't a lot of fish in the net, but just stuck at it. I've had a nice little run of tench, few carp, and the venue's not fished that well, and I've managed to sneak into the frame, so brilliant. So tune in for the next one, guys.